What's up guys, Jason back to my channel. Tonight I'll be doing a review for Aew Dynamite, so let's get to it then. Some brand new theme music plays and out comes John Moxley with a surprise return out of nowhere to kick off this week's show. Tony Schiavone says they were scheduled for a match now, but here comes John Moxley through the crowd. Excalibur mentions how he has a look in his eyes like he has something on his mind. Taz says we're going to find out. Schiavone asks for a microphone and leaves his position to attempt to go get a word with Mox in the ring. Mox says he's been doing a lot of thinking about things that need to get done. He's here tonight to have a conversation with someone who is not here. He says this man did nothing like him, but he's everything like him. He says this conversation is long overdue. Mox tells Darby Allin it's about time that they had a talk, and trust me, I'm not going to be hard to find. With that said, Mox walks up, but before he leaves, he stops and turns back. He tells Schiavone to listen to him. He says it's going to take time for everyone to wrap their brains around this. This is not your company anymore. Everyone is confused. He walks up to fans chanting his name. Yeah, I was confused the way how he's, but that's supposed to mean like this is not your. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, first match coming up is Heyman Page versus Tomohiro Ishii. I don't know if they say Tomohiro Ishii or Tomohiro Ishii. I don't know. Okay, Renee Paquette's backstage with a conglomeration hook and Willow Nightingale starting to on the mic is ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe. Briscoe talked about how they were successful in the Consumer Gauntlet. He says Hook was successful becoming FTW champion. He asked him how that makes him feel. He says pretty cool. Briscoe asks Willow how about her stipulation for her Chris Stanley title defense at All Out. He says, Chicago Street Fight, Briscoe vows they're gonna whoop some ass in the All-Star 8-man tag tonight. He barks and hypes up the crew as they walk off. Alright, back inside the arena. Oh, come on. Back inside the arena, Heyman Adam Page's theme hits. He makes his way to the ring for one-on-one against Tomohiro Ishii of the conglomeration. They trade back and forth forearms for what seems like an eternity. Page starts to get the upper hand as we take a break for our first commercial timeout of the evening. When the show returns, Heyman hits a clothesline to Ishii on the apron. Page spikes Ishii on his dome on the apron, and Ishii gets tangled up in the ropes in the process in the ring. Page hits a backbreaker over his knee and goes for the cover, but only gets two. He locks Ishii in a unique leg wrap submission and squeezes away. Alright. Fans rally behind Ishii, who gets to the ropes to escape the hole. He begins fighting back and hits a superplex off the ropes in the corner for a 2 count. They exchange elbows again and end up landing a shot at the same time. In Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed 2 style, they each fall to the canvas. On that note, we head to another mid-match break. This time, when the show returns, we see Ishii taking it to Heyman. He hits him with his own dead eye move, but also spikes his head in a net and at a neck break scary angle. Luckily, Heyman was okay. He fought bash Ishii with forearms and hits his own dead eye before following up with a buckshot lariat for the win. Good opener. Yeah, it was a good match. Alright, winner is Heyman Page. After the match, Swerve Strickland's theme hits and out comes with Prince Nana doing his goofy ass well as entertainment. However, with a serious look on his face, this time nice touch. Swerve gets in the ring and brings up Heyman getting involved in his business and his AEW World Championship match over the weekend. He says he might not have a belt anymore, but he'll always be referred to as a world champion. He says this will always be Swerve's house. Alright. Heyman yells enraged back at Swerve, saying he's not a champion of anything. He's a piece of shit. He says he broke into his home and could never beat him on his own. The 3 times he wrestled, he says he's not as good as him. He wants no excuses this time, just 2 of them. Like this began, Swerve says all out steel cage match. Swerve tells Heyman a story about privately watching Heyman with his family at his house, a place he knows well. He saw him walk his pregnant wife out to go to the hospital to become a father for the very second time. He taunts Heyman on his recent losses and says it's because he's too focused on him. He asks him what kind of man he's gonna be inside the steel cage at All Out. Better yet, what kind of man are you gonna show your kids that you're gonna be? Heyman simply dropped the mic and walked off in the silence as fans chant Swerve's house again. By the way, they booed Heyman Page when he walked away. All right, next match is Jamie Hayter versus Hardy Cameron. Joe heads to another break after the Heyman segment wraps up. We return Becky. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's what that person wrote on here. I mean, Jamie Hayter makes her way out, orange coat and all, and heads to the ring. She sells inside and skips around the ring, yelling that she's back. The theme for Harry Cameron hits out. She comes to challenge Hayter as soon as the Bell fans chant "Welcome back" at Hayter. Hayter acknowledges them, but gets blasted from behind by Cameron for losing focus. Hayter quickly takes over and unloads on Cameron in the corner with a flurry of strikes. Alright, the fight ends up at ringside where Saraya yells at Hayter before yelling at the cameraman to get out of her way. Seconds later, Hayter finishes Cameron off in the ring for the quick victory. Saraya looks nervous and hides behind Cameron. Hayter throws Cameron down and Saraya runs off through the crowd. So winner is Jamie Hayter. Alright, next match is MJF and Darren Garcia. Alright, yeah. Alright, next match is the next match. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Backstage, Renee Paquette standing by with Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith, and Roger Strong. Jericho talks about his longest reigning for the World Championship run in history, coming to an end at All In London. Strong and Jericho joke about a jacket he ruined years ago and about all the star 8-man tag team later and stuff. Alright, inside the arena, MJF's theme hits, and out he comes with his neck taped up. He gets in the ring and says he's in pain, and if he has to tell everyone to quiet down, he's gonna hop the rail and beat their asses. He says he has two herniated discs in his spine. He asks where everyone was when he was defending this country and this company. He denounces his American citizenship. He's everywhere in the country except Plainview, Long Island, New York. He's sick of not getting respect. He says this company without MJF is a circus. Speaking of circus acts, well, Ospreay, he continues. He tells Ospreay he had him beat until he cheated. He says things between them aren't over. MJF says he knows how good Ospreay is, but he better keep his head on a swivel. He says just as Ospreay gets to the day, he's about to capture the big one and win the AEW World Championship. He's gonna cut him out at the knees with a smile on his face. He then addresses Dan Garcia. He calls him a bum and says if he shows his face again, he's gonna end him. On that note, buzz cut. Dan Garcia hits the ring like a bat out of hell from behind it. Attacks MJF. He beats him down and slaps a guillotine on him from the front like John Jones and Leoto Machino. Garcia puts him to sleep and drops him on his face. Garcia takes him to the ropes and to return the favor and hit a tombstone power driver off the ropes on MJF. Alright, security hits the ring before he can. When they do, MJF capitalizes and attacks Garcia from behind. He puts the dress, shoes, not boots, to Garcia, but Garcia fights back. Garcia gets him up on the ropes and hoists him up for a power driver off the ropes again. But again, security hits the ring and breaks things up. MJF falls to the floor, stuck in his shirt, hockey fight style. Garcia gets on the mic and says if MJF is curious where his diamond ring went, he says he stole it, pawned it, and used the money for a round-trip ticket to London to cost him one of the biggest matches of his life. He brings up MJF making him leave his hometown arena in a stretcher in front of his mom. He says ruining MJF's life is his fetish. Alright, it'll be MJF versus Garcia at All Out. He vows to not just beat him, but drop him on his head and break his neck. He says if everyone loves him, they're gonna have to watch it happen. He throws the mic at him. MJF yells that Garcia's challenge is on. Challenge is on. You got it. He yells at security. As security holds him back, as Garcia's theme plays, Garcia runs to the back as security chased him behind. I wish they would have showed, the fight backstage, but they didn't. Alright, next match is All-Star 8-man tag. Hook and Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith, and Roger Strong. Footage of Ricochet's debut from over the weekend is shown. Then we return back in the State Farm Center, where the Dappy Average Justin Roberts begins the reintroductions for our next match of the evening, which Tony Khan will rock it tonight. Sometimes you just have to trust me. Hero Isaiah About via X Hook makes his way out first. Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Cartwright of the conglomeration all come out together. The trio join the cold-hearted Handsome Devil in the ring for All-Star 8-Man tag. The match goes through commercial breaks and includes Spot Fest Central from Bell to Bell, culminating with Hook slapping the Red Rum on Strong, who taps but while his foot is on the ropes. Referee Aubrey Edwards doesn't see this and calls for the bell, but Larry has to step over his leg, still raises foot under the ropes to call for the belt. Whoops, a raw brawl breaks out with everyone after the match, and out comes the other members of the Undisputed Kingdom, minus Ham Cole, of course. Security and referees run out to try and restore order. I don't know what taking forever with Adam Cole. Meanwhile, Strong is alone in the ring on the shoulders of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, celebrating with Hook's FTW Championship raised high in the air. After this wraps up, we shoot to Private Party hitting on Mercedes Moné during her backstage celebration following her win at All In London. Kazuchika Okada comes in and dances with Monet after she tells Private Party to hit the bricks. We head to another commercial break. So winners are Hook, Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle Riley. Alright, next we have a segment. Mariah May comes out. When we return from the break, Tony Schiavone is seen standing at the top of the entrance ramp with a microphone in hand. He says it's time for another championship celebration. He welcomes the new AEW Women's World Champion, the Glamour Mariah May. She comes out in a silk robe and is touchy-feely with the nervous-looking Tony Schiavone. He loses his train of thought to May groping on him. Yeah, that was funny. Alright, May helps him out and says she's the new AEW World Champion. She regrets to inform us, however, that her Women's Championship celebration has been postponed. She's not doing it in this time. She says Champaign, Illinois, she be renamed to Flat Pits Warm Beer, Illinois. She calls the women average looking and talks about them being used to shoving things down their throats, and she says other things too, and that's, you know what it means. She says they desperately need some glamour, and luckily that's everything she is. She says in case we don't understand, she's gonna take her robe off now and show us exactly what she means. Look now and never forget. This is our new AEW Women's World Champion, Mariah May. She takes the robe off to reveal herself in lingerie with the women's towel around her waist, and it's all black. The lingerie is all black. Just lean go. And it was hot. I love black. Anyways, if Nigel McGuinness was on commentary right now, this will be 100 times better. May closes the robe and says that's enough and walks off. All right, we have a thing here. A digital exclusive with the Grizzled Young Veterans. A digital exclusive from All In, AW All In London 2024 shown with the Grizzled Veterans talking with AEW Tag Team Champions. The Young Bucks walk up and try to befriend them. They don't want anything to do with that. They tell them they see GYV coming, grit your teeth. Backstage live, the Grizzled Young Vets say Friday on Rampage, one unlucky team are going to find out their intentions. They repeat their towel grit your teeth catchphrase seconds after it closed. The digital segment that just wrapped up too close together, especially for an catchphrase. We had to break on that note. Alright, next match is Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ricochet's theme hits and how he makes his way to the ring for his AEW Dynamite in-ring debut as he heads to the ring as Kyle does his best at listing his accolades to remind fans he's not just a WWE mid-card dude. Tony Schiavone takes a bit far and says he's the best wrestler he's ever seen or something hyperbolic like that. Kyle Fletcher makes his way out to serve as Ricochet's first opponent for his first singles match in All Elite Wrestling. Don Callis in on guest commentary for this one. After some back and forth action kick, heavily early offense, Ricochet pulls ahead and hits a big high spot 2 for it as we head to a mid-match break. Alright. When we return, it is Fletcher who is dominating the action and pressing with his own high-flying offense. Ricochet ends up fighting back into competitive form and finishing things off soon after he connects with a lifting inverted DDT, which he calls vertigo for the hard fought victory. An impressive AEW Dynamite in-ring debut. Ricochet looks exhausted after the match. Will Ospreay's theme hits, and out he comes to look at his former rival Ricochet in the ring. Before he can say a word, Pac appears behind him and hits Poison Rana to him on the unforgiving stage, slamming Ospreay on the top of his head in a violent in violent fashion. Pac tells Osprey not to lose focus on him. He welcomes Ricochet to AEW, and then tells him to get to the back of the line. He lifts Osprey up by his hair and says, "This one belongs to me." He walks off as Ricochet runs up to check on him. Alright, so winner is Ricochet. Alright, AEW World Champion Ryan Danielson's Cal Mystico announcement. Alright, main event segment time. But first, backstage, someone tries to ask Jon Moxley what he meant earlier in the show. He pulls aside some random Joes having a conversation behind him and beats one up. Marina Shafir appears and beats up another security dude who walks up. Another one walks up and sees what happened, stops and says no and runs away. As fans in the back are heard laughing. A lesson in humility. Mox says Shafir rushes the cameraman, knocking him down to end the segment. The commentators are at loss for words. Alright, inside the arena, Brian Danielson's normal theme, not Europe's final countdown plays. A new AEW World Champion emerges and sells in the ring to "You Deserve It" chance. He talks about his daughter, saying she had the best night of her life at All In London. Danielson says he knew between that and his peers congratulating him because after he finally won the AEW World Championship, that this was the favorite moment of his career. He mentions needing neck surgery sooner than later, and says his family is already for him to come home. He goes on to talk about AEW existing, making pro wrestling as a whole better. He says he realizes it's probably time for him to go home, but not yet. He says he will not retire as AEW World Champion. He's gonna fight for his championship much as possible as he possibly can. He says, "Don't get it twisted. As soon as he loses it, his full-time career is over. But that's not anytime soon because he's still got a lot of heads to kick." And he mentions that AEW All Out and says there's a hungry locker room full of talented guys. He says first come, first serve for a potential challenger. Jack Perry cuts him off from the big screen backstage. He's seated with the TNT Championship in his lap. He says nobody wanted him back here, including Danielson. He talks about punching out Tony Khan and burying Darby Allin at Wembley Stadium. He talks about beating Danielson in the past and says he's going to do it again because his future is being a guy who retired Barry Danielson. His future is becoming the AEW World Champion. He tells Danielson his future is behind him. Alright, behind him is Jack Perry revealing we were watching a tape message. Perry beats down Danielson in the ring as fans boo. He leans in lane and takes his towel and his own TNT towel and holds them both in the air over Danielson as he is laid out in the ring. That sounds ritual and stuff. So yeah, a good show tonight and stuff. Some good matches and stuff. And happy Jamie Harris back. And ooh man, Mariah May had a sexy lingerie and stuff. So yeah, so anyways, sorry. Anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you like it. If not, whatever. So hit that button, leave a subscribe, like, or favorite, whatever. Leave a comment, or you guys want to do that, I don't care. That was it, and I see you guys in the next video for WWE Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. All right, laters.